Welcome back. Now, I had a chat with the spokesman of the House of Representatives. We started with his opinion as regards the performance of the House in 2015.
I think the 8th Assembly has performed wonderfully well. Firstly, for us to be able to hold on to our agenda, that we are going to support Mr. President's agenda to ensure that we fight corruption, we legislate on the insurgency, make sure that people get jobs, and we've been doing quite well. And thankfully too, the Speaker, I think is able to live above board. We'll be able to get out of the leadership crisis, and has carried everybody along. If you see, in just 6 months, there was even a day we had over 130 bills that were passed to ensure that we are going to repeal and pass new ones and amend some laws, the statute books, because change cannot be anchored on mere policy. It has to be anchored on legislation. Because if you make change just on mere policy, there are likelihood that people can revert back to old habits. And we've been able to ensure that these things have been, is going to be passed to ensure that this change becomes permanent. And people are enthusiastic. The members have been able to come out with good bills, initiate good motions, and the House is very vibrant. And thankfully, we've been able to come as a group. Now there is no faction in the House, and that, to my understanding, the leadership, even the leadership of the House, I think they are doing quite well. There is understanding among themselves, and the members, we believe we have a good speaker around.
How do you think this will work? You understand that one of the problems the National Assembly has always had was implementing some of the resolutions of these investigations. How do you think this will pan out now? I
think this time around, we have made Nigerians to know, for one, that even the resolutions that we even pass in the national, we made them to know that they are no longer advisory alone. It has the force of law. You need at least some legal backings of it. That was testified in the case of Rufai versus Supreme Court. We noted that. And the Speaker has made the Legislative Compliance Committee to ensure that on a quarterly basis, give us the result as to how the executive and the are complying to some of the motions. At least it's like we are checking to know whether this thing is working or not. And as per finances, we've been prudent. And I want Nigerians to know that in the legislature, it is not the same with the executive. For example, if you create new ministry, you need to create more funds and what have you. In the legislature, if you get more committees, it does not necessarily follow that these committees must be given added funds. You can do your own oversight functions, and then it will still be effective depending on what kind of investigations you are carrying. And thankfully, this time around, it is even part of our rules now. If there are 2-3 committees that are performing similar functions, you don't distract the same agency or ministry, you call them differently. We can jointly sit together to see that we trash the issue out. One, it will reduce cost in itself, and then we'll be able to bring the issues more broad and very, very good for the Nigerian public to know. Example, we had the Power Committee, I'm on the Power Committee. We had a joint sitting with the discourse, the other committees, ad hoc committee on tariff and things like that. We sat together and we are still working credibly well. I think that is reducing cost in itself.
Okay, now if we were to look into the future, 2016 is around the corner. What should we expect from the 8th Assembly?
I think we will leave all the promises we have made to Nigerians. We will do that. Particularly in the House of Reps, is the vibrant representative. Nigerians should expect good laws that will create good governance. And more particular, in the 2016 budget that is already laid, we will ensure, and our leadership have said that at least by the first quarter of next year, we'll see how fast we can be able to pass this budget. Not just about fastness. We are going to consult widely, get experts, and thankfully, that this is a budget of change. We have departed from this issue of envelope budgeting to zero budgeting. Priorities is now what is going to be our focus. And when this thing comes to the National Assembly, don't forget, it is only the National Assembly that have the right to tinker with the budget. We will cross the I's and dot the T's. We will ensure that we follow each clause and ensure that Nigerians get value for this budget and ensure that this change that Mr. President is talking about is highly achieved.
One issue a lot of Nigerians have always had with the National Assembly has always been this issue of the perception that the National Assembly may not be doing what it should be doing, and all this issue of maybe finances being open and all that. Is that something that Nigerians should also expect to change?
It is even my job as the chairman of the Media and Public Affairs to keep Nigerians abreast with what is happening in the National Assembly. We are not going to hold back what is due to us. I think we have a perception problem. Let me even tell you, when the budget was 150 billion, Nigerians look at the money 150 billion. It represents 2% of the entire budget of that 2015. 2%. Now, we are an arm of a government. And people should understand that when a budget is made, let's say 150 billion, it's not divided by 360 or 469 when you bring together the senators and the House of. I keep saying, we have NILS, which is an independent body, and they draw their budget from this same budget. We have the National Assembly Budget Office, NABRO. They draw this. It's from this budget. I think let us watch and see. We are going to do our best.
And we should not expect rowdy sessions, scandals, and things from this.
I think if you look at our rules, that we'll be able to make some amendments. It is only the House of Reps that have said that if you, in case of any disagreement, you decide to pick the mace and run away with you, we punish you, suspend you for even over 6 months. It's not high-handedness, but we should know that this is a symbol of authority. If, as a member of House of Rep, as a legislator, I cannot respect the mace that is a symbol of authority, I will, at any slight difference, rush and pick the mace. I think we should set an idea for that. And that was why we did that. So that our people, our children, our electorates who will look at us when we're doing deliberation as responsible people. I think we have done that to improve the House. And we're doing quite well. And people are conscious of that very well.
So we should not expect.
I expect that disagreements will be there. Because by the nature of assembly, there are debates. You either do it for or do it against. Yeah. But you do it based on the principles and the law. And it's not just it creates chaotic situation. I think the leadership will not tolerate that. And we will look very irresponsible. We are honorable members. We will be very honorable, I believe. We will do that.